Have you ever wished someone could just hand you a simple, timeless roadmap for success? Not a trendy hack, not a secret formula that fades after a few seasons, but a path, tested by time, anchored in truth, and still powerful today. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by this rapidly changing world, if you've ever wondered whether the rules you grew up with still apply, if you've ever sensed that success today requires something deeper, not just faster, you're not alone. We live in an age of endless noise. New apps, new rules, new gurus appear every day, telling you to move faster, hustle harder, adapt quicker. But in the middle of all that chaos, there stands a quiet, powerful truth. A truth Jim Rohn captured decades ago, a truth even more vital today. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Simple, not easy, but enduring. Because while the world changes its gadgets, the laws of growth, of discipline, of self-leadership, they do not change. Today, we're going to step off the hamster wheel of more, faster, louder. Instead, we'll slow down. We'll go deeper. We'll reconnect with the principles that made ordinary people, in every era, live extraordinary lives. Jim Rohn didn't teach shortcuts. He taught foundations, not tricks, but timeless truths. Truths that you can still live by today, tomorrow, and 10 years from now. So if you're tired of chasing trends that leave you emptier than before, if you're ready to rebuild your life on something solid, unshakable, then welcome. You're exactly where you need to be. Because today we won't just talk about success, we'll rediscover how to become it. Let's begin. Have you ever felt like the world is spinning faster than you can keep up? One moment, you finally master a new tool, a new strategy, a new must-know skill, and the next, the world has already moved on. Today, we live in what experts call the age of overwhelm. Information floods us. Every second, every swipe, every tap. 3 seconds. That's all it takes for a new post, a new trend, a new urgent opportunity to flash before our eyes. We carry supercomputers in our pockets. We can access more knowledge in 1 hour than our grandparents could in a lifetime. And yet, many of us feel more lost, more anxious, more disconnected than ever. Jim Rohn once asked, "Are you designing your life or just reacting to it?" It's a powerful question, because in this hyper-connected world, reaction has become our default mode. We wake up, reach for the phone, and let the outside world set our agenda. We spend our days jumping from notification to notification, task to task, trend to trend, until one day we realize we're busy but not fulfilled, active but not aligned, connected but not clear. Let's dig deeper into this complexity. Let's name it so we can change it. First, the illusion of infinite choice. More choices should empower us, right? Yet psychologists call it the paradox of choice. Too many options, instead of liberating us, paralyze us. From the moment we wake up, we are flooded. What should I wear? Which news should I read? Which goal should I pursue? Which opportunity should I chase? Every decision, tiny or major, consumes mental energy, until eventually, we experience what scientists call decision fatigue. And in fatigue, we default. We scroll mindlessly, we react impulsively, we abandon our dreams for distractions that feel easier. Second, the tyranny of urgency. Jim Rohn warned us, learn to separate major things from minor things. But today, everything screams urgent. Every email, every headline, every blinking red notification. The world trains us to confuse noise with importance. And when everything is urgent, we lose the capacity to prioritize what is important. We spend days extinguishing tiny fires, but never building lasting structures. Urgency hijacks your attention. It fragments your energy. It steals your future, one crisis at a time. Third, the addiction to speed faster is the mantra of our era. Faster answers, faster likes, faster success. But speed without direction leads to chaos. It's like stepping on the gas. without checking if the road leads to where you want to go. Jim Rohn reminded us, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Speed is meaningless without the right direction. But today's culture rarely asks, where are you headed? It only asks, how fast are you moving? And so we run harder, faster, more breathlessly, only to end up further from ourselves. Fourth, the overwhelm of comparisons. In Jim Rohn's era, you compared yourself to your neighbor. Today, you compare yourself to everyone. Billionaires on LinkedIn, fitness models on Instagram, young prodigies on TikTok. Comparison used to be local. Now it's global and relentless. Every scroll whispers, you're not enough, you're too late, you're falling behind. But Jim Rohn taught, the major key to your better future is you, not them, not their timeline, not their success story. You, your growth, your rhythm, your values. Finally, the disconnection from inner compass. In an age of GPS, algorithms, top 10 lists, we have outsourced our navigation. Instead of asking, what truly matters to me, we ask, what's trending, what's viral, what's expected of me? And slowly, we lose the sound of our own inner voice. Jim Rohn's advice was timeless because it always pointed inward. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Success, he said, is not an event, not a viral moment, not a lucky break. It's the fruit of steady cultivation, of invisible daily disciplines, of quietly growing when no one is clapping. So today, in this age of complexity, Jim Rohn's wisdom is not just helpful, it's revolutionary. When the world shouts more, Jim whispers better. When the world shouts now, Jim whispers prepare. When the world shouts chase, Jim whispers attract. And when the world says you're falling behind, Jim reminds us success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. My friend, you are not behind, you are not broken, you are not too late. You are simply one choice away from designing your life again. One habit away from regaining your clarity. One step away from walking in the timeless principles that have built every true success across every generation. So breathe, reset, reconnect, because the principles are timeless and your best chapter is still unwritten. Let's move forward together into the lessons Jim Rohn left us on how to build modern success the timeless way. Let's continue. Success is not a mystery. It is not reserved for a lucky few. It is the natural outcome of simple disciplines practiced every single day. That's what Jim Rohn taught. That's what still changes lives today. So now, let's dive into 4 timeless lessons from Jim Rohn. Lessons that are not just ideas, but invitations to action. First, the power of self-education. Jim Rohn said, formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. In an age where information is free and abundant, your growth is no longer limited by geography, money, or even opportunity. It is limited only by your willingness to learn. Today, the winners are not the ones with perfect degrees. They are the ones who never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop evolving. Imagine this. Every morning, before the world demands your attention, you invest 30 minutes, reading, reflecting, expanding your mind. In 1 year, you would not recognize the person you've become. Jim believed, miss a meal if you have to, but don't miss a book. Because the mind you feed builds the future you live. Second, the power of goal setting. Jim said goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. In a world that pulls you in 1,000 directions, goals are your anchor. Without goals, you drift. With goals, you drive. And not just any goals. Clear, written, compelling, personal. Jim taught a simple practice. Every 6 months, sit down and set 3 categories of goals. Economic goals, what you want to earn, save, invest. Personal development goals, who you want to become. Contribution goals, how you want to serve others. pause point 5. Write them, visualize them, review them every morning. Because goals are not just destinations, they are forces that pull you forward through doubt, distraction, and difficulty. Third, the power of financial discipline. Jim was very clear: wealth is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Money, he said, is like seed. If you consume it all, there is no harvest. But if you plant part of it carefully, consistently, it grows. Today, saving seems old-fashioned. Investing feels complex. Spending is effortless. But Jim taught simple, timeless rules. Save at least 10% of every dollar you earn. Invest in assets, not toys. Spend less than you make. Learn the basics of money. Because if you don't master money, money will master you. Financial freedom is not built in lottery tickets. It is built in daily disciplines, small choices made consistently over time. Fourth, the power of relationships. Jim warned, the walls we build to protect ourselves also become the prisons that hold us back. We rise or we fall with the people we surround ourselves with. Who you listen to shapes your beliefs. Who you spend time with shapes your habits. Who you trust shapes your future. Jim's advice: choose friends who lift you higher. Seek mentors who stretch your vision. Build bridges, not walls, with those who challenge you to grow. Because success is not a solo journey, it is a team sport. The right relationships are not accidents, they are investments. Choose wisely. Tying it all together, the action plan. These are not just ideas to admire, they are disciplines to embody. So let's make it real. Let's make it yours. Action step 1, morning self-education ritual. Tomorrow morning, start with 20 minutes of growth. Read, reflect, journal, pause point 5s. Before the world tells you what matters, decide it for yourself. Action step 2, 6-month goal reset. This week, take 60 minutes. Set clear goals in 3 areas: economic, personal, contribution. Write them, see them, own them. Action step 3, 10% financial discipline. Starting with your next paycheck, pay yourself first. Save 10%, invest 10%, live on the rest. Not because it's easy, but because your future deserves it. Action step 4, relationship audit. List the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask, are they lifting me higher? Are they challenging me to grow? Are they aligned with who I aspire to become? And if the answer is no, start adjusting your circle. Closing reflection. You see, success is not complicated, but it is intentional. It is not about sudden leaps. It is about small, daily alignments. Jim Rohn's advice is timeless because human nature is timeless. Growth requires guidance. Discipline requires vision. Action requires courage. And success is not something you chase. It is something you attract by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. So today, choose self-education over entertainment. Choose goals over drifting. Choose discipline over impulse. Choose growth-minded relationships over convenience. Because every small decision you make plants the seeds of a future you cannot yet imagine. And one day, when you look back, you will realize the miracle was never magic. It was discipline, practiced every single day. Let's continue to build, with Jim's wisdom as our compass, a life that stands strong, even in a changing world. Learning without doing is just entertainment. So if we want Jim Rohn's wisdom to live in us, not just inspire us, we must translate it into action. Today, I'll share with you 3 simple but powerful practices. Each is practical. Each is transformational. Each is something you can start today. Let's begin. Action 1, the 30-minute morning learning ritual. Jim Rohn believed, success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. One of the greatest disciplines, feeding your mind before the world feeds it for you. Imagine this. Every morning, before emails, before social media, before work, you give yourself 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. To grow, to reflect, to strengthen your foundation. You can read 10 pages of a good book, listen to a powerful podcast, Journal 3 lessons from yesterday. Why does this matter? Because how you start shapes how you live. Start your day with intention, and you become intentional. Start your day with wisdom, and you become wiser. Jim said, "Don't start your day until you have finished it on paper." The world will always demand your attention. You must claim it first. How to start? Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier. Prepare your book, journal, or podcast the night before. Create a simple space, quiet, inspiring. Pause 0.5s. And then practice the ritual every day, without negotiation, without exception. Because success is not an event, it's a habit. Action 2, the 6-month goal reset. Jim Rohn taught, without a sense of purpose, time has no meaning. Most people set goals once a year, usually on January 1st. And by February, they forget them. Real achievers reset their goals every 6 months. Why? Because life changes, you change, your dreams evolve. Jim's method is simple, powerful, and life-changing. Every 6 months, write down 3 major goals. 1 for wealth, 1 for self, 1 for service. Wealth goal, what will you earn, save, or invest? Self goal, who will you become? What skill will you master? Service goal, how will you contribute to others? And remember, vague goals create vague results. Clear goals create clear victories. Some time is not a deadline. One day is not a strategy. Set dates, set metrics, set standards, and then review them every morning, every week, every month. Because what you focus on, you feed. What you feed grows. How to start? Block 1 hour this week. Choose a quiet place, phone off, mind open. Write your 3 major goals. Post them somewhere visible. Review them daily. Your life deserves that much clarity. Your dreams deserve that much respect. Action 3, the Energy Journal, 30-day challenge. Jim often said, learn to be the master of your own energy. Time management is important, but energy management is crucial. Because if your energy is depleted, even an extra hour won't help. So here's the challenge. For the next 30 days, keep an energy journal. Simple format. Every night, answer 2 questions. 1. What activities gave me energy today? 2. What activities drained my energy today? Over 30 days, you will start seeing patterns. Certain people uplift you, certain tasks ignite you, certain habits energize you, and equally, you'll see what drains you. Your mission? Do more of what charges you, do less of what depletes you. Because success is not just about doing more, it's about doing what matters, with energy, with passion, with life. How to start? Get a small notebook. Title it Energy Journal. Every night, spend 5 minutes reflecting. Be brutally honest. Track your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. At the end of 30 days, you will have a personal blueprint. A blueprint of joy, of vitality, of true, sustainable success. Bringing it all together, 30 minutes of self-education every morning, 6-month goal resets with clarity and fire, 30 days of mastering your energy. These are not burdens. These are blessings. Because discipline is a blessing, commitment is a blessing, growth is a blessing. Jim Rohn once said, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. So today, not someday, not when life calms down, not when you're more ready. Today, begin. One small discipline, one small choice, one small commitment, repeated daily, until one day, the small becomes the significant, the habit becomes the harvest, the seed becomes the forest. Because you are worthy of the life you dream of. And the journey, it begins today. Let's continue. Let's take a breath. We've traveled far together today. From recognizing the complexity of our modern world, to uncovering Jim Rohn's timeless principles, to building clear, daily action steps. But now comes the most important moment, the moment of choice. Because knowledge without action is just decoration. Transformation only happens when knowledge meets commitment. And commitment only happens when something inside you says, enough drifting, enough waiting, it's time. So today, I invite you to make an inner commitment. Not a loud one, not a showy one, a quiet, unshakable one. A decision that whispers in your heart, I choose growth, I choose discipline, I choose a life of design, not default. Jim Rohn often said, for things to change, you have to change. Change does not demand you to be perfect. It demands you to be willing, willing to begin, willing to persist, willing to become. So let's summarize the journey we commit to, starting today. First, commit to small daily disciplines. Success does not come from massive actions done once. It comes from small, simple disciplines done daily, done faithfully. Reading for 30 minutes each morning, resetting your goals every 6 months, tracking your energy every evening, pause 0.5s. No action is too small, no step is insignificant, because over time, small actions compound into unstoppable momentum. Second, reclaim your inner compass. The world will pull at you, advertisers will shout at you, trends will seduce you. But your future, it whispers. It whispers through your quiet dreams. It whispers through your hidden strengths. It whispers through your deepest values. Jim taught us, the ultimate reason for setting goals is to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve them. Not to impress others, not to keep up appearances, but to fulfill the design you were meant to live. So listen inward. Design your days from the inside out. Third, respect the seasons of growth. Success is not a straight line. It is not instant. There will be winters, times of silence, reflection, testing. There will be springs, times of planting, believing, sowing seeds. There will be summers, times of nurturing, protecting, enduring. There will be autumns, times of harvesting, celebrating, giving thanks. Do not rush the seasons. Do not resent them. Work with them. Grow with them. As Jim Rohn said, you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Plant now, tend now, trust now. The harvest will come. Call to interaction today. I challenge you, not just to hope, not just to dream, not just to plan, but to begin, to take one real step, however small, however shaky, because action, however imperfect, builds momentum, and momentum unlocks miracles. So choose one thing. One. Maybe it's setting your 3 goals tonight. Maybe it's reading for 30 minutes tomorrow morning. Maybe it's starting your energy journal for 30 days. Choose, commit, begin. And if this message resonates with you, if it sparks something true inside, I invite you to seal it with a small but mighty declaration. Comment below, I choose daily discipline. Not for me, not for applause, not for validation, but for yourself. Let your fingers type what your heart already knows. Let your words be the first brick in a new extraordinary path. Because at the end of this journey, it won't matter who doubted you. It won't matter how long it took. It won't matter how messy it looked. It will only matter that you answered the call, that you built the bridge, that you became the person worthy of the life you once only dreamed of. You and only you hold the pen to your story. Write it, live it, honor it. Starting today, because you were never meant to just survive this world. You were meant to shine in it. Let's begin. So choose one thing. One. Maybe it's setting your 3 goals tonight. Maybe it's reading for 30 minutes tomorrow morning. Maybe it's starting your energy journal for 30 days. Choose, commit, begin. And if this message resonates with you, if it sparks something true inside, I invite you to seal it with a small but mighty declaration. Comment below, I choose daily discipline. Not for me, not for applause, not for validation, but for yourself. Let your fingers type what your heart already knows. Let your words be the first brick in a new extraordinary path. Because at the end of this journey, it won't matter who doubted you. It won't matter how long it took. It won't matter how messy it looked. It will only matter that you answered the call, that you built the bridge, that you became the person worthy of the life you once only dreamed of. You and only you hold the pen to your story. Write it, live it, honor it. Starting today, because you were never meant to just survive this world. You were meant to shine in it. Let's begin.